Genesis, the story of creation and the origins of humanity. In the beginning, the universe was an endless void, shrouded in darkness and chaos, but then, in a moment of infinite power, God spoke, "Let there be light," and the world awakened in its first radiant glow. Day and night were separated, marking the beginning of all things. High above, he created the firmament, dividing the waters above and below, gathering the waters so that dry land appeared, forming vast oceans and fertile earth. Trees and plants sprouted, life took root, and nature thrived. On the fourth day, God created the brilliant sun to illuminate the day, the gentle moon to light up the night, and countless stars to adorn the sky. On the fifth day, he brought forth all living creatures, fish swimming in the seas, birds soaring across the heavens, all rejoicing in the symphony of life. On the sixth day, God fashioned the beasts of the earth, and, at last, his greatest masterpiece, humankind, crafted in his own image, endowed with intellect and dominion over all creation. He formed man and woman, blessing them with the mission to rule over the earth. After 6 miraculous days of creation, God rested on the seventh, sanctifying it as a holy day of rest. But the story did not end there. In the magnificent Garden of Eden, where crystal-clear rivers flowed and lush greenery flourished, Adam and Eve lived in peace. At the heart of the garden stood 2 significant trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God permitted them to enjoy everything except the fruit of the latter. But then the cunning serpent appeared, whispering to Eve, "You will not surely die, but will become like God." Curiosity and desire stirred within her, and she took a bite of the forbidden fruit, offering it to Adam. At that moment, their eyes were opened, and they realized their nakedness, their innocence lost. God sought them in the garden, but they hid in shame. When questioned, Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. God's wrath descended. The serpent was cursed to crawl on its belly forever, the woman to suffer pain in childbirth, and the man to toil endlessly for his survival. They were cast out of Eden, burdened with the weight of sin, and so began humanity's long journey of suffering and redemption. Their first children, Cain and Abel, grew into men with different paths. Cain became a farmer, while Abel tended sheep. When they offered sacrifices to God, Abel's was accepted, but Cain's was not. Envy consumed Cain, and he killed his brother in cold blood. When God asked, "Where's your brother Abel?" Cain callously replied, "Am I my brother's keeper?" This grave sin led to his curse, condemning him to a life of wandering. But the story did not end there. Adam's lineage continued to multiply and flourish, yet humanity drifted further from God. Wickedness spread across the earth, leading God to cleanse the world with the great flood, sparing only Noah, a righteous man, to rebuild a new world. The story of Genesis is not merely a myth about the origins of all things, but a profound lesson of obedience, the consequences of sin, and God's boundless mercy. Though mankind falls, he always provides a path to salvation, promising the coming of a Savior who will redeem humanity from the chains of sin and darkness.